The computer that you saw in the thumbnail has a GTX 950 Ti, a Core i5-2400, 8GB of DDR3 RAM, a 256GB SSD which acts as a boot drive, a 1TB hard drive for storage, and for $150 this is a beast of a computer. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say that this is the best computer that money can buy, but for 150 bucks, I would be willing to bet that not a single person could build a better computer than this computer for that price point. Like, I'm talking about, this is like monitor prices. This is like a mid-level to a low-level monitor price. This is not the price for a whole system. Like, I would be hard-pressed to find a GTX 950 for 100 bucks. Like, this card in this system is crazy. Like, you very rarely see at this price point a CPU bottleneck, because the GPUs are just not good enough to bottleneck the processors, and by no means is this processor a slouch. Like, of course it's not as good as some Ryzen processors that are out right now, by no means is it better than the more current i5s, but for how old this thing is and the price point that I got this at, this is a beast of a CPU. Okay, I'm not gonna say beast, it is a very capable CPU. And how I got this computer is very, like, it's very unique to me, because I got this thing off of CRAIGSLIST, and it might not be too odd in like computer building circles to get stuff off of CRAIGSLIST, but like generally the public perception of CRAIGSLIST is kind of scammy, kind of human trafficky, but my experience and my first and only experience with CRAIGSLIST has been freaking amazing. So I found this ad on CRAIGSLIST for a $200 system that doesn't really have a GPU, but once I clicked on it, since it was cheap and I was interested either way, it said in the description about a GPU upgrade. So I clicked about and then found his phone number and texted him. Said, "Hi, is this Kevin?" And he's like, "Yeah." We make some casual small talk or whatever. And then he presents to me that he has a Dell Vostro 260, which will have a Core i5-2400, 8GB of DDR3 RAM, a 256GB boot drive, which is an SSD, which is such an underrated part about computers. Like, if you don't know what to upgrade, I would really encourage you guys to get an SSD for a boot drive, because RAM will make your computer feel faster. Of course, processors will. Well, that's probably the most significant change. But if you want a pretty cheap upgrade that will make worlds of a difference, go for a freaking SSD. Like, you never really realize how drastic of a change it is from from a hard drive to SSD until you try it. I've never really used a SSD, but as a boot drive, this thing is a beast. And I know I'm overusing the word beast, but this computer just overall is a monster for $150. So back to the story. So we texted back and forth. He said Dell Vostro 260, the SSD, the 1TB hard drive for storage space, the 8GB of DDR3 RAM, the GTX 950. And I was like, a GTX 950? So my reference for a pretty decent computer has been my brother's computer, because I don't play too many graphic intensive games. Like, I dabble in some like high quality games, but you've seen my videos. I play Smite and I play Minecraft. That's about it. And I like recording, so a decent processor is pretty important to me. But that graphics card, like being able to play with absolutely zero lag on all the games I want to, was a really big selling point for me. So I just used my brother's computer as a reference. So my brother's computer has a similar i5. I think his is a tad bit better. And he has a GTX 7 something. And I'm just like, a GTX 950 though? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know it might sound like I'm trying to hype this up a little bit more than it deserves, but for this price point, and I know I'm repeating a lot of the same stuff, a computer that's better than what I've been playing on my whole life, like the pinnacle of good computers to me has been, like, in the real world. I obviously know like the capability of computers is performance, but like in my personal experience, the top of the line computer that's gonna be like up here, like the computer that I'm about to get for $150. I'm sorry everyone, I'm effectively losing my mind in this whole entire clip. Just like, kind of disregard what I'm saying. Sorry that the audio is bad in this clip, but I'm editing, okay? No time for audacity. It's gonna be that much better. Like, I was hyped. So I'm sorry if that didn't make sense. I'm just a little excited right now, even though I got this thing like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I told my brother, and he was like, this guy is absolutely crazy. For $150, he should not be selling you a 950. And I'm just like, I'm not complaining. Like, obviously, I was a little worried about him scamming me or him taking out the GPU. So I kind of had in the back of my mind when I'm going to meet up with him, I kind of want to ask him to open up the side panel just so I can make sure everything's in there. Obviously, you can't tell if the power supply is dead, or you can't really tell if the memory isn't compatible or something's gonna break, but I at least wanted to make sure that the 950 was in there. So we kept texting, and I got a picture of the computer, and by no means is this chassis your gamer aesthetic. Like, it's not the most gamery looking thing, but as a sleeper gaming PC, this thing is a monster. Like, there's no LEDs, there's no acrylic glass side panel, but it's simple, it's black, it's clean, and I really have no complaints about the look of it. So we keep texting back and forth. We finally made a meetup date. Location. You know what I'm trying to say. So, the time comes. Sunday, September 20-something, we meet up in a gas station parking lot off of the highway, since he was driving through my city, because where he lives is like 50 minutes away. So, I obviously wasn't going to make that drive up, considering I can't drive. But we get to the gas station, and he goes, I'll be pulling up in a red Honda Civic. And I'm like, yes, this is everything I needed. Like, this is a Craigslist experience right here. You haven't experienced Craigslist until you meet up with someone driving a red Honda Civic. So he rolls up right next to us, this little 24, 25, 26 Asian dude steps out of his car, and I'm just like, this is everything I expected it to be, because we've been talking for about 2 weeks to that point, and like, I've got built up what I imagined him to look like, and he was everything that I imagined and more. So he walks to the back of his car, pops open the trunk. There it was. So this chassis was a little bit banged up, like there was some scratches on a side panel, but by no means is this a big deal. He pops it open without me even having to ask. Like, I was stressed about having to ask him to pop open the side panel because that's a little shady. Well, not really, but I just didn't really want to. Pops it open by himself, shows me the computer. It's all there, that dual fan 950, and now we're here. Brought it home, plugged the HDMI cord into my motherboard, which you're not supposed to do. It kind of had a panic attack. Like, it worked, but it really did not want to work. So I plugged in the HDMI to a graphics card after a little bit of research. It's kind of shameful. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that I had to look that up. But I got it working, and now it runs like a complete monster. I have my dual monitor setup that I just got. I actually got that monitor off of Facebook Marketplace. I'm telling you, the used market is crazy. Even in a small town, like, I live in the smallest of small area, and I'm still getting these freaking insane deals. Like, this computer for $150, come on. So yeah, got working, all hooked up, and now I'm recording all my videos, doing everything off of this $150 monster. So the moral of the story is, don't underrate the used market. Just because it's used, that does not mean it's some refurbished trash that's going to break in 2 weeks. I mean, we've been going 3 weeks strong, so that should say something. So yeah, just don't underrate the used market. It could be good. Don't immediately assume that's going to break or you're going to get kidnapped. Well, you might, so just be cautious. But it's not all bad. Well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, slap the like button. I'm not going to be able to get this thing to 10 minutes. I just admitted that out loud. And it's fine. I don't get ads anyway. But if you want to help me get ads, slap that, hit the buttons. Hit the buttons that get me higher recommended so I actually get more than 15 views. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed the IRL, just leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see, because I'll try to post it, you know. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Frick.